everyone, I have very sad news. You're not going to like it, but trust me, neither did I. I have lost someone who was very close to me. Someone who felt as if she was a part of me. Someone I thought would be in my life forever. But life had different things planned for me. I am so sorry to let all of you know that Anna has passed away. You see, the thing with loved ones is that you have the best time of your life with them, and you know that at some point in your life there is going to be a moment where you will lose Anna. Well, I lost Anna, and even though I adopted her, she still rocked my world. I know this is a very sad video, but do not worry, I promise you it will get better than this. If you want to laugh, my friend William joined me at the funeral. It's pretty sad, by the way, because not a lot of people showed up, and honestly, I don't even have one clue who William is, to be completely honest with you guys. It doesn't matter. Look, he cheered me up and showed me that there are always things to laugh about in life, such as a grappling hook or a gigantic flashlight. If you think about it, it's kind of sad that William and were playing with gigantic flashlights and grappling hooks at the grave of Anna, but then if you think about it even more, it's kind of cool because Anna always was a crazy girl, and boy oh boy did she do some crazy stuff in her time. Remember that mid-air dab? That was a good day. Yeah, I bet that if she was here she would want us to do all of these stupid tricks with the flashlights and grappling hook, because that way the fun will never die and will live on forever in William and me. Well, I don't really care about William, but you get the point. I must say, the best memory of that graveyard that I have is when I got stuck in the tree. That was pretty cool. What a guy that is. Good guy William. I should call him sometime. It's such a shame because she was so young and she had so much energy. I went to the funeral and I saw something pretty weird. I saw Anna and she told me to go back to the adoption center to adopt a baby. Then I suddenly woke up in my house and I knew that I had to go to the adoption center to get a new baby. Little did I know that this baby would not behave as you would expect a baby to behave. So, I woke up, got all of my stuff and of course my lunch ready, locked the doors and went walking to the adoption center. You are all probably thinking, Sub, why didn't you just take the car? Well, the answer to that is very simple. I didn't want to. I'm a healthy person and every step I can walk I walk. As I got closer and closer to the adoption center, I started to think about Anna more and more. What if it was just a dream and I wasn't meant to go to the adoption center? But it had to be right, so I just did it. I'm not going to say I wasn't tired when I got there, because believe me, I was as tired as a baby sloth. Do you know sloths? Here, have a look at a sloth. Isn't it beautiful? I think I kind of am a sloth in some ways, because first of all we both like the color green, and secondly, I intend to be very lazy sometimes. When I entered the center, I heard all of the babies cry because they all wanted to get adopted. It kind of reminded me of a puppy center, where all the puppies are trying to convince you that you have to pick them. Anyway, all I heard was crying, except from one baby. In between all those crying babies there was one baby who didn't say anything. He was completely quiet. Well, I'm saying he, but I am not actually sure if it's a he. It doesn't really matter anyways. So I walked up to the silent baby and he looked me right in the eye. It was like everything suddenly was in slow motion. It was a moment of connection, a moment of peace, and when I looked into his eyes deeper and deeper, it made me realize how much I wanted this baby to be mine. So I'm sure you can guess what I did next. That's right, I adopted him. When I was walking back home with the baby in my hands, I thought about Anna for a minute, and I knew deep down that she was happy that I did it. Everything felt great again all of a sudden. When you got home, I gave the baby a grand tour of the house. This is the living room. Here is where you'll watch TV. Here, let me get you up the stairs safely so that you won't fall off if you try to get on alone. Because I love you, I will carry you up the stairs. Here is the playroom. If you are bored, you should totally come up here so that we can play a few games. I was just joking, you can play around in the whole house because only being able to play outside is way too cold. And here is your bedroom. This is where you will sleep every night. But this story is not your regular happy ending story, because on that same night, something very weird and unusual happened. As I was laying in bed, I suddenly heard this weird noise. It sounded like a ghost or something. I can't really explain how it sounded. I got out of bed to go and check it out, but after I heard it the sound didn't appear again. So I waited and waiting in the living room because of course, I could not sleep anymore. I was kind of scared. And then, after 10 hours of waiting, I heard it again. It was still dark out, so the moment I heard it I went to its location, and you might have already guessed it. It came from the baby's room. I ran up the stairs, went straight to the baby's room. I slammed in the door to check on the baby, but when I opened the door I was in complete shock. The baby was gone. Also, for your information, I didn't name the baby because I kept thinking about the name Anna, but I didn't want to call him Anna because Anna is a girl's name and it was a boy, so I didn't give him a name yet. Anyway, I was super shocked and scared at the same time. Was someone in my house? Did someone take my baby? What was going on? Without any doubt, I did what every other parent would have done, and that is getting out of the house, into my car, and I started driving around to see where my baby was. I kept driving and asking around, but no one knew where he was, and neither did anyone see anything strange happen around my house. At this point, I was really confused because let's be honest, this place isn't too huge. It all just got me to be even more nervous than I was before, and trust me, that's not cool at all. I thought to myself, maybe if I continue on foot I might be able to scan my surroundings a bit better because I'll be going a bit slower, which will give me some more time to look around. As I looked around me literally everywhere, I could not help but don't see anything. Then, at a random moment in time I suddenly heard the sound again. This time it came from the swimming pool. I ran as fast as I possibly could to the pool, and once I got there I am telling you I didn't believe what I saw. I saw my own baby, the one I adopted and put to bed earlier, standing on top of the pool slide, ready to jump into the pool. Can you imagine seeing that? I didn't even have a clue if he could swim or not, so obviously I shouted, "Baby, please stop, don't do this." I have no idea how you got there, but listen to me. You don't want to do this. Can you even swim? The baby didn't even respond to my call, and he just jumped on the slide. It was like everything was going in slow motion again. I nearly got a heart attack. It was so intense. I was thinking all kinds of scenarios in my head, but that thinking ended soon enough when the baby hit the water. I ran into the pool and dove underwater to get my baby back. Now here's the funny thing. The baby was able to swim. How? I don't have a clue. I also noticed something really strange about the baby, that I couldn't see all that clear from a distance, but once I saw it up close I didn't know what to say. The baby's eyes were red, both of them. I didn't know what to think at first, and I thought all of this was just an accident, and I knew deep in my heart I just had to accept the kid for who he was. At that point, when I saw the red eyes, I also came up with a name. It like shot straight up into my brain. After that, I named him Red. Yeah, a pretty cool name, I know. But let's skip forward a bit, because in between now and 3 years nothing really special happened. I mean, we went to the SWEG park to do some sick racing, and we went to the dance club to show off some sick moves, but that's about it. 3 years can go past really quick, you know. But then it all started to happen. There was a moment when we both were dancing at the dance club and we had some great moves with us that night, but then suddenly out of nowhere my baby ran out of the dance club and got in a car and just started to drive away. Can you imagine your kid doing that? I had to run after him and jump in my own car. I was literally in a car chase with my own baby. I mean, it's kind of weird when I'm saying it like this, but I promise you it happened for real. The chase luckily didn't go on for too long. I mean, come on. It was a baby that was driving. Pretty weird, right? Anyway, he drove into the pool, and of course me being his dad, and by the way I had to set all of my anger aside, but I had to get him out of the water and to the hospital as soon as I could. Now it gets weird. The last thing I can remember of being in the hospital was that my baby was lying on bed in midair. He suddenly jumped off and started running from me again. "Come back here." He ran out of the hospital and then he ran back into it again, and he started going everywhere, and eventually I had to stop him because otherwise he would have ran into a wrong door or something, I don't know. Anyway, I tried to tase him, but that didn't work after multiple tries. I mean, I literally tried like 10 times, but he wouldn't go on the ground. He was like Iron Man. He was indestructible. Okay, well, I'm not going to lie, I might have missed a few dozen of times, but that doesn't take away the fact that the little guy just kept running after I at least hit him twice. He was just like, "Oh, I don't really care that I'm being attacked, I am just going to do my thing here." So then I hit him on the head with a stick and that seemed to have worked. Next thing I know is me waking up and trying to get my baby in a wheelchair. I eventually got him to get in the wheelchair after a lot of nicely asking him to do so. I literally had to ask it like this. Please 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 baby Red, could you please get into the wheelchair please? Yeah, I had to say that multiple times. When he got on, he started to run away again, but this time I was on his tail and I followed him into the nursery room where he gave me a jump scare. At this point I started to believe something was wrong with my Red. It was as if something was really wrong. It was like he was evil. The last thing I can remember about that day was that we went into an elevator. Like, why am I even telling you this? It doesn't make sense at all. Like, it just doesn't. What guy on the planet adopts a baby and dances with it? Goes into an elevator with him? He was really getting to me. Then I looked at him, he looked at me, and then he jumped at me for some reason. But wait. It gets crazier. I suddenly wake up back at the graveyard again with no one there. So I got my flashlight on because at this point I was kind of scared and nervous because I knew that at this point anything could happen really. Like, I would not be surprised if there was like a giant spider around the corner or something like that. Anyway, I got back to Anna's grave and guess who was there? Mr. Evil Baby. That's right. He was just standing there on the grave looking at me. I think he was thinking something along the lines of, in a few minutes you are going to need good ear protectors because I am going to play some sick beats and destroy your ears along with it. Nothing can stop me now. I am so very powerful. When he suddenly ran into the church. You might be wondering, Sub, what did you do? I followed him, of course. But here is where it gets really creepy. Once I entered the church, he jumped on the table and out of nowhere this intense very loud music that hurt my ears. It took a while to stop, but then when it stopped the little guy ran up the stairs and so I followed him because I just wanted my kid back. But once I got upstairs, even worse music started to play and this track was really loud. It really hurt my ears. I was secretly wishing inside my head that the music would stop playing, but it just kept going and going and going and going and going, and I was going insane until it stopped. And then, the most random thing of all, after the music slowly stopped there was a split second of silence and then I suddenly got teleported, and you wouldn't believe where I ended up. That's exactly right. At the adoption center. I was standing there with a baby in my arms, and because I just had this vision of an evil baby I turned the adoption down. Then, when I turned around, he was there,